Okay. Now, I know I left off talking about my grandmother. My grandmother, Miss V. Bird. What if they call her? A lot of you that know her knew her as Miss Vi. And it's crazy because I gave her the most uh, trouble, but she loved me through it all. Okay. And they say since shit, I guess when I was brought there as a little baby, I would jump out of my um, what's it called? They call it pack and play now. Back then it was just shit, steel thing, playpen shit. Um, and would just be gone. I was very hard headed with her. She would tell me back then we had this thing. We would go to the skating ring on Sundays, and I would ask for money to go to the skating ring, and she would tell me no. But I would always end up at the skating ring at the end of the evening, and my uncle was going to take us. Now my dad's brother. Now my dad's brother was always on gas money. Why are you always the one providing the ride? Where they gas money at? I wasn't worried about that. I was just worried about getting us to the skating rink. Now, sidebar. Later on in life, I am grateful for that gym because it was. As a child, you're not looking at it that way, and especially me. Always the people pleaser, to make it happen, by any means necessary. So I, as I got older, I got what he meant by, why are you always the one providing the ride? Why are your other friends not providing the ride? Hell, they not providing the ride because they know that my ass is gonna do it and get it done. That's why. But again, I get it. You know what I mean? But the gist of it, that's what it was. Whether as a child or adult, at the end of the day, that's what it was. Because everybody knew that Marcy is going to, make sure we get to this damn skating ring. Um, so she would tell me no a lot, but she would always make it happen some type of way. She did the best that she could. She did some things that I wasn't, that I used to be ashamed of as a kid because I grew up in all these different damn households, going back and forth and all of this. So the kids would tease me and I would be embarrassed about it. But at this point, I stand 10 toes down. Grandma was a hustler. I get it. You know what I mean? Things expand so much from when you're a child and you grow up. One thing that I have learned is when you change your perspective, you change what you're looking at. When you change your perspective, you change what you're looking at. When you change your perspective, you change what you're looking at. That's going to be key. That was key in my healing and in my awakening. So moving along, my grandmother and I were close. I think my grandmother channeled my pain in an unspoken way. There was a name she used to call me when it was just me and her. But to everybody else, I was stressing her out. I was told that, my mama head get cold, don't be crying and doing all this other type of stuff. I got into a situation, thought I was grown early on, where everyone else was passing judgment and looking at me upside my head. My grandmother said, regardless as to what happens, basically, I got you and you ain't did no more than what nobody else done did. Um, and after that, I was shipped off again. Um, I was shipped to Texas, back to Texas. So around this time, I am probably um, sixth grade, seventh grade. So that's what, about 14-ish. And right before I left, it was someone that used to terrorize me every day reveals that they have a crush on me. Like, really, how does that work out? But anyway, and love them to this love them to this day. But so I am about 13, 14. Um, yeah, because I'm in I believe, around the seventh, eighth grade, somewhere in there. But I'm in Texas. Well, when I'm 14, I remember I had a dream, and it woke me up in the middle of the night, and I had a dream that my grandmother was leaving this room. I never called my grandmother in the morning, but this morning I got up and I called her. And it was almost as if like someone trying to keep you from seeing something over the telephone. But I knew something was going on when my aunt from the country answered the phone. So I was like, "Where's grandma?" And I just knew. But to have that connection with someone. So I don't think that I thought it was real the whole time that I came. But yeah, that took something out of me. That one there. Looking back, it's like that's when a lot of shit just fell apart. I remember trying to bring the family together. Everybody told me to beat it, so I left it alone. Um, yeah. So from there, um, I feel like I missed a part. So I'm gonna rewind. The time before me being in the sixth grade in Alabama. I was in Texas, and I was about 10. So around this time, um, I am being taken to Texas because my mom is coming to Texas, and my dad wants me to get to know my mom. And we're gonna be there with my sisters, and um, so for a little while I stayed with my sister, and then her and my mom kind of clashed. I kind of started to see the schizophrenia in real time. Um, I started seeing a little tip. I didn't get it, but there were the little outbursts between her and my sister, and you're trying to take over my kids and things from the past that they're going back and forth on. Now, mind you, sidebar, pause. I do remember me being maybe about 3 or 4, riding on the bus with my mother, when she lived in Long Beach, and I remember we ate rice in Long Beach. So that was not the only. My dad did, make an effort, I guess, for me to try to visit her or what have you. So I do remember that. That is a memory. We were on the bus together, and we ate rice. And as back then, she gave me sugar with rice, and to this day, I don't eat sugar with rice. I eat salt and pepper. But I remember. So and there was a carnival back in in Long Beach, and I remember we had to watch what we wore because we were walking into different territories. That's how serious it was back then. This is the 80s. So, oh, and when I'm in California, I'm in Salinas, California. I just went to Long Beach to visit my mom out there. But when I say I'm living in California, I lived in Salinas, California. Garfield Circle. First school I went to was Santa Rita Elementary. So moving on. So if, I'm not sure. It could have been 6 months to a year. I ended up with my mom because she wanted her own child. Well, nobody gonna tell her how to raise her own child, and I think a mix of ego and maybe other things. But during that time, she mentally and physically abused me. I couldn't go outside. If she did tell me I could go somewhere, by the time I got in, I was getting knocked upside the head because she said that she did not tell me that I could. I would wake up to her bending my fingers back. I read all of the Babysitter Club books about 10 times. My mom would sit downstairs, and it's amazing how the Most High works, because she would just go, but she was resonating with the earth, though. I didn't know it at the time. That's what would calm her, but she was resonating with the earth. I had no idea at the time. Okay, so she's chain smoking her cigarettes, and for the record, when they did her autopsy report, yes, my mother's deceased clearly. Her lungs was clean as a whistle. I paused because let's speak about her lungs and her autopsy, because now it brings me to how she passed away. So my mom passed away the same way that she tried to, I guess, take me away. A house fire, the IRA, but we'll come back to that. So yeah, all the Babysitter Club books, and so she would listen to this music day in and day out. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Marvin Gaye, Isaac Brothers, R. Kelly. Her favorite song was Hey Mr. DJ, Slow Jam. And we would have our moments, because she would take me to Pizza Hut, and we would eat pizza and eat salad in silence, So, okay, coming back to my grandmother passing at 14. So after that, for some reason, it got out. I was made aware that my dad did not think that I was his child. So I asked him about this, and then I found out about my mom setting the house on fire, just all of this, yeah. My sister tells me. So I think my dad was kind of upset, like, why would you tell her? But hey, I deserve to know, right? So I asked him about, you don't think I'm your child, and dude tells me to go ask my mama. To a 15-year-old child. Go ask your mom. So you want me to ask the paranoid schizophrenic lady if I'm your... How can I ask her that when if I hold my mouth a certain way, don't do your lips like that. You look like your daddy. She won't even talk to me over the phone. How about, girl, go sit down somewhere? Yes, I'm your father. Maybe. I don't know. Just a thought. But okay. So, is this a hole? Okay. So, yeah. So I battled with that. Now, pause for a second. Now I have had trauma from my mother playing mind games with me. We're gonna put it in that aspect because you told me that I can go somewhere, and then when I got home, you said that you never told me that I can go. I made that shit up. I asked my dad, hey, you know, everybody is saying you're saying that I'm not your child, so what's going on? He says, ask your mom. Mind you, my mom's paranoid schizophrenic. And she doesn't really fool with me. So, yeah, it just, I just kind of felt my way through that, I guess. So, around 15, 16, both my sister and I come to North Carolina. My sister ends up leaving and I end up staying. So I end up getting involved. Well, so my dad drives trucks at this time. Um, I was, in the 10th, 11th grade. So I would still get up every day and go to school. Um, um, and my dad would be going on the road for at least a month at a time sometimes. Now, let me rewind back to Marcy about 3 or 4. So, Mr. Bird used to call Marcy. I'm gonna get it together, y'all. Bear with me. Mm. Sister Slick. So, I'm 3. So, Sister Slick. So, bam, that's another insecurity added on. Because I don't know what or who Sister Slick is. But the way that you make it sound, I don't think it's a good thing. Whoever Sister Slick is. And you say, the way it's me. No. So, yeah. So, that's another insecurity. All right. So, from that age, trying to prove myself. Um, all right, so moving along to the so basically I would be there with no money. Just hence the read before you leave. And it's just still just grateful. Just, always in that energy. This is how we communicated too. We didn't talk. When he did come, we didn't talk. I had to communicate with him like this because I didn't know how to communicate with him because he never made me comfortable enough to really communicate with him. He, it, I would see my dad maybe once a year when I'm in my when I was in my pillow to post phases. He didn't call and check on me, and he would come through and discipline me maybe, and that was about it. So, and he and once I found out about the whole paternity thing, it made me feel like, damn, is that why you act like you ain't like me, you know? Because that's the energy that it was just like, oh, like he could not stand me. So it made sense that, okay, is that why he acts the way he acts towards me? Because he doesn't think I'm his child. So for the longest, I had to take on that as well, right? So eventually, of course, I get involved with this older guy. I'm naive. Um, I genuinely thought that if if that you that people would give you back what you gave them. I didn't know it was a game. I came here with a heart on me. Let me say that. It was always love and light for me. I didn't want to see that it was a game. My best friend used to tell me, I was like, Bird, it's a game. No, it's not. And it's amazing how two energies can be so different but so much alike because we balance each other out so well when you look at it overall, because she was always the street one, and I was like, I guess more so of the bookworm, book smart one. And I think now my spiritual authority has made me more gangster and more street than anybody at this point. With all due respect. So moving forward, I'm gonna tie all this together. So, I ended up your friends. So my friends told my dad about the older guy and should have the shit that they knew I didn't even damn know about. So I got slapped shit out of and got put out. And I will always respect this dude because he could have said, I don't know where you going, but he did come and get me and made sure I had a roof over my head. Now, it was not no ideal situation. He was, straight up a dude. But again, I think we tend to pay attention to the wrong shit a lot of the times. So, and there's a lot of things that we should be grateful for that we're not, because we're so focused on the things that didn't go our way. So, one thing that I have learned in my journey is to be grateful for the good, the bad, and the ugly. That is a beast. When you can walk through fire and you can be grateful for the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, moving forward, I stayed in that situation not too long. His sister became my sister, and I ended up getting on a Greyhound bus going to Texas. I am now 17. My mom is staying with my sisters initially when I got there, but she didn't. I was on track to graduate, but I didn't want to go back to I didn't want to I just didn't want to graduate with. I didn't want to go through school and all of that. I just wanted my diploma. So my sister did talk me into going through having my senior year with my classmates that I had came up with, before, what have you. Which I am glad that she taught me into that and that I had that experience. So another sidebar. So in Texas, and I'm not sure if it's the same now, but back then you had to pass what they call a TOS test. Well, you take it the first time, I think in the 10th grade. Well, this will be my first time taking it, right? And I've always been intimidated by math, always. And I heard that if you got into special ed classes that somehow you're exempt from the math portion of the TOS test or some shit like that. So who was running around Sam Houston High School trying to get into special ed class? Who passed the TOS test on the first time taken? Who understands E equals MC squared now? The Pythagorean theorem, 369, sacred geometry. So I go from that to this. That's how the Most High works. Know thyself. Allow you to know thyself. Give yourself that opportunity, though. So now I'm carrying some baggage, and a lot of it is not mine. I'm now questioning why it seems like I always get the bare minimum. Just a little bit, though, because I'm so grateful. And I'm going to mention this, too. As I'm coming up to fit into all of these different households that I lived in, I tried to make everybody that I was living with happy. For my sisters, I knew that my sisters, they liked Big Red, and the other one liked Cherry Coke. So, anytime, and now mind you, I'm 11, 12. Anytime I had money, extra change, I go across the store and I buy them these sodas that they like. I would clean up. Try to surprise them with their room clean, or just any little thing that I could to bring a smile and not have to feel this energy of not being wanted, or in another household, I was the only one that was going to volunteer to get because there was some nasty folks living near us, and so that they had to get rid of the place because it was just not good. It was not good for copy damn shit. It was. They could probably tell you some stories about that right there, but yeah. So there would be visitors that would come over, and me so apart, wanting to be a part of the family. I would happily do it. Where the sock at? Where the sock at? I'm gangster. Scariest book. Now, ask me to do it today. See how gangster I am. Ask me to do it today. Okay. But back then, oh yeah, I got it. Who gonna rub my uncle feet? Them ashy feet that might scratch you. Nobody, not even his kids. But I'm gonna do it. Now I love my uncle now. So, and every time that he would make the mistake and be like, go tell your mama. Oh, I didn't mind it because I wanted to be a part of the family, but I would always be reminded that this is not the differences stood out. But it's amazing the things that we compartmentalize or we put away as if they never happened. So going forward, now I am in the midst of my big sisters. I graduate. There was a situation where I ended up getting involved with another older guy. And I take responsibility for my part. However, I want to say this. If you have any type of influence over your sibling or anyone that, over a young adult, I would hope or my greatest joy would be to see us lead each other down the right path, not down a path of self-destruction, not take somebody and throw them out there to the wolves because of your own selfish issues that you have going on. And that is what happened to me. So I don't know, should I put this in now or come back to it? Maybe I think I'll come back to it because I want to break this down a little bit more. Right now, I just want to give you guys a overview of our main thing that we need to focus on today. So, after the incident happened, I was kicked out of Texas, so to speak. So I did go see my mom is staying at a facility at this time. So I go to visit my mom, and the nurse comes back and she says, "Your mom does not want to see you." So I ended up coming to North Carolina. I have graduated. So I'm about 19 now. And I'm working. I got a pretty good job. And I meet this guy, and I think that, he a nice country boy. Maybe I could, and could build anything you could think of from scratch. Boy, talented. So if only he could have. I'm just looking at the best version of himself. Maybe we could, make this work. He got kids, about 5 of them. But I'm not thinking about that. I'm love and light, and it's not about that. It's I'm looking at what could be, and how he's treating me at the time, right, honey? I ended that relationship with my first child, which was my gift, my first gift, and he had someone else pregnant at the same time. So they're 22 days apart. And for the longest, I had a color complex. When I would see biracial color couples, I would have a fit. And I'm so grateful that I'm past that now. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it took me a while to get past that one. Because it really tackled my self-esteem. Like, you cheated on me with her. And see, that's when I think I began to realize that it's not about looks. When men cheat, it's not about looks. And sometimes when they cheat, it ain't even got shit to do with you. Hard to believe, huh? Ain't even got shit to do with you. So, moving forward, when I graduated, my dad's family came from Alabama, pretty much. Um, and so I'm in North Carolina. Met the guy. I've had the baby. Um, so it. Oh, what? Oh gosh, what is his name? He's with B Dale. Uh, oh, he talks about Big Mama.
Bluetooth connected.
Oh, bear with me, y'all. Mm. Oh my goodness. Oh, what is going on with my? What is his name? Oh, I have been talking about him. Oh, he's with B Dale 1014. But I will think of your name and forgive me. But he talks about Big Mama. And his name, he'll come to me. But he says Big Mama, and we gonna talk about Big Mama, who Big Mama is. But Big Mama either gonna bless you with a baby or an awakening. And so at that moment, I was, or both of them at the both of them, I would say simultaneously and at the same time. Um, I will tell you why later. Now, mine was the baby. Because sometimes you gotta get the baby to get the lesson. So after maybe about a year of the whole back and forth drama, I left and I went to Texas, and I met whom I thought would be the man that I would marry. And so I went back and forth with him for about 10 years. Our first year, this um, I genuinely loved him because I saw his heart. And yes, I felt like he did a major, and with all due respect, this was back then. I'm not trying to. But absolutely, I felt like, he done stepped up. And not in a number of ways. I don't mean just by, looks. He had somebody that was willing to carry the load with him, that was willing to be in it with him. And so one day, and looking back, there should have been no reason why he should have had to leave his phone at home with me on my days off, but that was the setup. It is what it is. So I inadvertently intercepted a message from one of his coworkers talking about, have you left your girl yet? So meanwhile, I got, people in my ear. There was an opportunity for an apartment back in Alabama that I can come and take. And so would I have handled that situation differently? Absolutely. I was young and I guess in my ego at the time. So I ended up leaving, not knowing how that would affect him. But I'm still confused because you were the one that said you were breaking up with me. So to this day, that's an unsolved mystery. But hey. So at that point, we did leave. We left for about 3 years and we came back. And when we came back, I ended up playing second for about 5 years. I think it was a combination of low self-esteem. It was a combination of guilt. It was a combination of trying to make things right. As to why I played second for 5 years. And then when he was no longer in the relationship, he didn't choose me. But again, everything happens for a reason, and you gotta be grateful for the good, the bad, and the ugly. So now I'm at a crossroads because I live along I-30 where they are about to tear my apartments down to build some high rises because they have this stadium over here. So I gotta go. So once dude told me what it was, that he couldn't help me with my deposit, I took my little car that didn't even have no interiors. I packed it down and went to Alabama. So the plan was I was supposed to meet my dad in Alabama, let Genesis stay for the summer while I go back to Texas and figure out, a place to stay and not be rushed into it. So, but when we got to Alabama, that's not what happened. It was like an intervention. You need your daddy and your daddy needs you. Well, at least take her up there and put her, in school, or or I think that's what it was. I was gonna let her go to school, So needless to say, I end up in North Carolina, and that, baby, when I say that is when I want to say that's really when my journey began. Is when I got to North Carolina. Is when I got to know myself. When I came face to face with the Most High. When I experienced the deepest heartbreak and betrayal ever, and experiencing
Bluetooth disconnected.
the greatest love and joy that one could ever imagine possible. So we're going to pause right here, and I'm going to be back with the North Carolina segment, because this is yeah. Yeah. 444. Got my angels and my ancestors on gold.